Alright guys, let's go through the charging system on my Suzuki 2013 SFV 650. Reference the wiring diagram I wrote up. There's a link in the description of a PDF. Electrically, I have it wired exactly the same. So what I do is I utilize a car relay and terminal block system. So I'm going to quickly go through the theory on why you want to do that and how it works. Now the two main advantages to using this system is number one, everything that you have wired to this is only going to be on when your motorcycle's turned on. For example, I have my heated grips wired through the system. If you leave your heated grips on overnight, you're going to wake up to a dead battery, and that is no fun. Advantage number two is that if you don't use this system and you have 3, 4, 5 accessories wired on your motorcycle, all the positive and negative leads to those accessories, you're going to have to land them directly to the battery terminals, and 4 or 5 wires per terminal start adding up, and you're going to have a big mess, a big like rat's nest. So it cleans it up, it makes it easy to troubleshoot, and it makes it even easier to add and subtract accessories at your will. Okay, so let's go into the theory of how this works really quickly. Okay, so you're going to need a car relay, which you can pick up on Amazon or Walmart for about $5, and you're going to need a couple of terminal blocks. Now, you're going to make one of the terminal blocks a positive terminal block and one of them a negative. So the car relay, there's a contact and there's a coil. Now, to wire up the coil side of the relay, you're going to need to identify a constant power circle on your motorcycle when the motorcycle is turned on. A very typical location, and the location I use, is the running tail light for your motorcycle. So when your motorcycle's on, the tail light's on. When the motorcycle is on, the tail light is on, that circuit is hot, and you need to splice into that circuit, wire to the relay, and then the relay coil is energized and pulls the contact closed. On the contact side, you're going to wire your positive 12 volts DC to the contact, and when it closes, when your motorcycle's on, it's going to then send 12 volts to your positive terminal block. So then, when you wire up your terminal block with all your accessories, voila, all your accessories have power. Then, all your accessories, you need to wire it the negative leads, so to make it clean and nice and easy, you have a negative terminal block. And then you run one main wire back to the negative post of your battery. So it's relatively simple. That's a very generic overview. And if you're not familiar with wiring or electricity, I suggest go on YouTube and do some reading, because it's good to know. Because if you're doing this type of work, or just any kind of work on your motorcycle in general, it's good to know some electrical theory, because you're eventually going to have to troubleshoot. That's just my suggestion. And then one last thing, as you can see in the schematic, from your positive to your relay, you want to have an inline fuse. I suggest like 10 amps. And that protects everything on this terminal block. So that's just a little side note. So, originally my bike had the toolkit like that. It fits nicely like this. So I took this plastic frame, dremelled out a hole big enough for this USB charger. So this particular one is one I got off Amazon that's rated for marine use. So I'll put a link in the description. And it's got a 1 amp and a 2 amp USB charger. Okay, so that's one. I also have another extra one back here. I consider that one my backup. And then finally, I have another one back here, except that's a 12 volt cigarette jack. So then it gives you the freedom to put in like a Garmin charger, or you can add another, USB charger if you want. So it gives you some freedom, and gives you some options. So if you're like me and you go on, maybe weekend trips, multi-week trips, camping, and then while you're on the road, that is your opportunity to charge your devices. You want your GPS running, charging your phone, and then also you saw my portable external battery, so once you're at the campground you can keep charging your phone. You're gonna want more than one charger, because if one fails you don't want to be SOL. Okay, that's my suggestion. Another tip for these terminal blocks, if you don't have a place to screw into, you don't want to screw into the plastic body or something. Like for mine, the wheel well's right underneath, so I don't want to screw and expose everything here to elements. I use this 3M Velcro tape. So one side is sticky. You stick it to the terminal block, you stick it to the wall, the plastic, whatever, and you got Velcro, so you can take it on and off, remove it when you want. You're not destroying or changing any of the plastic framing in here. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys a closer look of the different setups for the USB here in a second, but you might be wondering, okay, so you have all this under the seat. All right, why would you do that? Well, in the past, I have used handlebar mounted USB chargers. Okay, I've gone through 2 of the RelayTheory USB chargers, which I did a quick review on, and I'll put a link in the video. But in both cases, they both failed within a week. That's in the essence the conclusion I came to, is that I can't be going on trips and having them fail. Okay, so whether it's cheap or it's exposed to the elements of moisture, I can't have that. So my solution is put everything under the seat. Okay, so then you're like, all right, well, how are you supposed to power stuff on your handlebar, or maybe your phone on your tank bag? Well, for me, the solution was just order long USB cables, right? And you can plug them in, run it along the seat, run it up the tank, under the tank bag, or you find a nice way to run it. I just let it hang and make it tight and coil up the extra under the seat, and then you charge while you're riding. And then if I get to a campground, I can unplug the USB cord, take it off the front, store it under here. The bike's off, there's no power, no moisture's getting on the cord, no moisture's getting on any of the charger elements. I have less to worry about. Everything's working, all my stuff is charged, and there's no more fooling around. Okay, when you get into any kind of hobby, especially motorcycles, you can't half-ass stuff, because you're gonna pay for it, whether it's gear or maintenance or our charging example here. Do it right the first time. Think about your applications and your needs, and if you do it right, you won't have to worry about it. And if something goes wrong, it'll be easy to identify and fix. So I'm going to give you a little tour of the inside here so you can get a better idea of how I did it, because each motorcycle is different. And if you have a smaller bike like mine or a naked sport bike, you don't have a glove box. You don't have a fairing to hide, USB chargers in where they're out of the elements. So this is an alternative that I have found successful to have the ability to charge all your devices, have your heated grips, and not have to worry about the chargers failing. All right, guys, here's a closer look. Here's the car relay, all the wiring bundled up nicely here. Then from the battery to the relay, I have easy access to the 10 amp fuse in case I have to troubleshoot and replace the fuse. Then all the wiring I have tucked away nice, hidden, protected, positive terminal block. Here's one USB charger. Again, 2 USB chargers, a 2 amp and a 1 amp. Dremeled out into this plastic framing, inserted here. Here's another extra USB charger that I have with the same 3M tape velcroed to the side. And then here's your negative terminal block where all your negative leads are landed. And finally, if you can see here, I have one more charger, which is a 12 volt cigarette jack. So that gives you the freedom to use different items, 12 volt items. All right, guys, let's give this a go. Here's the heated grip display. As you can see, no juice. Turn this key on. Display lights up, and we now have control. Turn the key off. Bye-bye control. I'll turn it back on here, and we'll move to the back. And when you turn it on, you actually hear the relay click. You can actually hear that contact closing. But anyway, you can see I have my USB chargers lit up, ready to charge, and then also my 12-volt socket. I put in a USB charger so you can see that's working. And it's really not that hard. So go on the link I provided and follow the schematic, and you're going to be golden. This is really a good thing to do if you're doing a lot of traveling, you want to charge your stuff and not worry about it. I highly recommend it. So if this helped you, give me a like and subscribe, because I got many more to come. Alright guys, thanks for watching.